Indian environmental agencies have said that it would be difficult for India to meet its 2050 target unless major technological changes happen in key industries, particularly steel and cement. Now, these technologies are very expensive. What will the US do to give us the kind of green technology or the finance that will enable us to move in that direction?
Well, what you said is true, that we can't meet our full goals with the current level of technology. And we know that, and we have to be honest about that. But we also can chase those new technologies with far more intensity than we are. We don't have enough money going to that challenge of these new technologies. We're going to try to change that. We don't have enough joint effort, countries working together. That's why I'm here, because President Biden wants India and the United States to work together to do the research, hopefully break through on some of these technologies. We're all in this together. And I think we need an attitude of cooperation, bringing more people to the table. The UAE is interested in working with us in this endeavor to try to accelerate the possibilities of hydrogen, for instance, as fuel, the possibilities of storage for battery power and so forth. I'm convinced we'll get there at some point. The challenge for us is, will we get there in time? And will we push the curve?
Yeah, that's a good point, because China, for instance, says it will not meet its targets by 2015. It wants 2060. You have somewhat of a confrontational relations with China at the moment. America does, and so does India. How confident are you of getting China on board on this?
I'm hopeful. Not confident at this point. I'm hopeful, because China is a very important player in this. China has a very big economy, second largest in the world, an enormous nation, powerful nation. And we hope that China will come to the table and lead. President Xi has talked about leadership, about China's role in this. We want to work with China in doing this. And what President Biden has said is, we will have our differences on some issues. We clearly do. So does India. But that doesn't mean we should ignore the crisis before all of us, which requires all of us to respond, and that's the climate crisis. So we have to set aside these other things. We can't be the prisoners of all of these differences. We must cooperate on climate. I think it's possible. We did. China and the United States cooperated in 2013, 2014, and we were able to announce our joint efforts. I think that helped significantly to produce Paris. And now we need to work. We need to work to produce Glasgow.
Right. I want to come to Paris, because there were a lot of commitments, particularly funding. There was a $100 billion commitment made by developed nations from 2020. That is well short of target. What are you going to do to ensure that this funding is available? And will you start penalizing nations who don't put their kitty in?
Well, I think what we need to do is work with nations to all contribute. President Biden is going to pay the amount that President Obama had promised, which President Trump blocked. And so we will pay our arrearage, but we will also the president will make certain that we are going forward with an additional amount. So there'll be a Biden contribution to this effort, and it will be commensurate with what we should be doing in the size of our economy and our nation. I believe that we will get, I hope, to the 100 billion. I believe we will. We're about 80 or somewhere now. But more importantly, we're not going to just do the 100 billion. That's not enough money. We have to come up with trillions of dollars. And the only people who can do that are the private sector. So we're working with the largest asset managers, Raj. We're working with the largest banks. Not just large, we're starting with the large. We need to get everybody involved to put money on the table for investment. Not giveaway, but investment. There's money to be made in the deployment of new energy. And there are all kinds of things that we could do to improve people's lives, create more jobs, have better health, have greater security, all of which will come if we move in the direction of this new energy economy. And I think it's very exciting. So the President's Summit on April 22nd, President Biden has a summit There'll be heads of state there, and we will try to raise ambition. We want the world to see what each country will be pledging to try to do things. And why? Because 20 countries, the 20 biggest economies, equal 81% of all emissions. So we want this to happen, but we also want it to be just. We want to be thoughtful and considerate of small nations that are victims of what others have been doing for 150 years or more. And we need to now respond with huge speed to fix the mistakes that we've made. We recognize our responsibility. Now, does that mean that, we have to do it? No, we can't do it all by ourselves. Every country still has to be part of the solution. For instance, small countries, as they build out their energy, don't go to coal. Go to renewables, go to new energy, get a gas relationship, or there are many other ways to plug your baseload, but we need cooperation.
We are running out of time, and a final question: what is your big message to India and the world with regard to climate change and to save planet Earth?
My big message is that India can play a critical role. It is a nation with huge intellectual resource, with great spirit and spiritual resource. If the people, the citizens of India, apply themselves to this, it will happen. The challenge for all of us is how fast. We have to do this quickly. We have to be committed. And India is a critical partner, together with the other, bigger economies and bigger emitters. We have to come together to make sure our children and grandchildren and future generations get a planet back that's in better shape than it is today. We really need to get to work and make that happen.
Thank you, John Kerry. We wish you all success in your mission.
Well, I wish
Thank you.
us success.
We do. Thank you.
It's our mission.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.